Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, your favorite place to learn and to hang out to become the better version of yourself. Today I'm going to be graphing and documenting what it's like to learn a new skill. For those people who want to see the end product right now, here it is. Now have a cup of coffee as I reconstruct that graph with a story on what it's like to learn a new skill. So let's imagine all this onto a graph. On the y-axis, let's have a skill. On the x-axis, on the horizontal, let's put time. I'm going to break time into day, months, and years. So let's zoom straight into the days part. We're going to take, for example, we're going to do a skill for 5 days. Let's say starting YouTube. YouTube involves a lot of different skills and techniques, such as videoing, talking to the camera. And with all those on top of you, skills are going to be relatively low. In fact, you're not even going to notice much at all. But if you keep going and consistently barrel through it, let's fast forward a few months. I'm going to use this by showing a couple of dots. Let's say we work on 1% of the previous experience and we're building up on it. And now we're probably going to see a few improvements. Errors are going to happen less, so instead of every 20 times, it might happen once every 10 to 5 times perhaps. Fast forward once again, let's go years. Now you've been consistently doing an activity for years, and this is when the magic of compounding effect really starts to happen. You're going to look back and you're going to see, wow, I've come a long way. You'll notice when people will be mentioning, your work looks seamless. You make it look so simple if you hear these sorts of comments, but you know it's taken a very long time to get to this point. What I'm going to contrast this graph with is putting joy on the right hand side, so from the bottom and it goes up. Let's see how much fun it was over the period of time. So beginning it was kind of fun, we're all motivated. However, when we realize that there are so many things to learn, it becomes very overwhelming. It might actually deteriorate the joy by quite a bit. Unfortunately, this is where a lot of people give up when we're in this down slump, when we realize we don't know what we don't know. This graph could be familiar to you. If you're familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect, it's the bathtub effect, and I'll be making a future video about this graph in particular because I find this very interesting when it comes to learning a new skill and figuring out where you are, and it does have a link towards imposter syndrome as well. There is one caveat to throw in the spanner in the works. This is an ideal situation. What I'm marking down now is if you don't carry out the skill consistently. So say for example, when the evils of procrastination or distractions in life get in your way when it comes to skills, what happens then? Well, I'm now implementing what's known as the forgetting curve. What that means is if you don't practice consistently, your skills would deteriorate really quickly and it will take a long time, well, some time for you to be able to pick back up where you were. Leave it for too long and you may find that the skills will actually deteriorate 100%. Skill, realize that it compounds over a long period of time. So what you require is 1% improvements. Joy, realize that it's not going to be fun all the time. In fact, the more you learn, you're going to realize more that you don't know, and that's generally not very fun at all. You're going to make more mistakes. So that's usually when the breakup or the giving up usually happens. Be persistent, remain disciplined to what is most important to you. And lastly, the forgetting curve. You must remain consistent with your practice. That's all I have. Make sure you check out this other video that I've made with regards to self-improvement. Till then, all the best.